Now friends, once again, I'm here with a problem based on time and work. Once again, a query raised by a student. Very simple problem. A and B together can do a piece of work in 30 days. That means the work is of 30A plus 30B days, right? A having worked for 16 days, B finishes the remaining work in 44 days. That means the same thing is 16A plus 44B, right? So 30A minus 16A, that is 14A, and 44B minus 30B is 14B. That means capacity of A and B is same, right? Efficiency is same. That means if A and B both of them are taking 30 days, that means anybody either A or B will take double of them, that is 60 days, right? So in how many days B will finish the whole work alone? 60 days, right? And the same is the answer for A also. So very simple problem can be just done in 15-20 seconds, right? If you are conceptually clear. Now friends, one more time and work. A can do a piece of work in 4 hours. B and C can do it in 3 hours. While A and C can together do it in 2 hours, how long will B alone take to do it? Now here I just take an alternative strategy, a different method to solve the problem. A can do a piece of work in 4 hours. That means in 1 hour he'll be doing 25% of the work, right? A will be doing 25% of the work in 1 hour, right? Now when A and C can together do it in 2 hours, that means A is also working for 2 hours, C is also working for 2 hours. Now A can do 25% of the work in 2 hours. That means in 2 hours he'll be doing 50% of the work, right? And the remaining 50% work might have done by C. That means capacity of A and C, or we can say efficiency of A and C, is same, right? That means C will also take 4 hours while he is working alone. Getting my point? Because efficiency of A and C is same. If A is taking 4 hours, C will also take 4 hours to complete the work. Now B and C are working for 3 hours, right? Now capacity efficiency of C is like 4 hours if he is working alone. So in 3 hours he'll be doing 3/4 of the work, right? In 3 hours C will be doing 3/4 of the work. That means B and C, if both of them are working for 3 hours, C is doing 3/4 of the work. That means B will be doing 1/4 of the work in 3 hours. 1/4 of the work in 3 hours. That means the complete work he will be doing in that is 12 hours. Right? So no paperwork is required at all. The problem can be solved in just 15 to 20 seconds if you are clear conceptually. Okay? Yeah, once again I'm having a problem of time and work. Lot many problems I have already solved based on this topic. I am sure you might have revised all the problems. And now it's your turn to take a test, right? Try this problem without touching your paper and pen. If you can do this problem without touching your paper and pen in less than 30 seconds, then only you just assume that your preparation is taking a shape. Else you need to strengthen your basics, right? See friends, competition is going to be tougher and tougher day by day, right? If you want to get through your exam, you need to put up a lot of efforts, right? You should watch the videos again and again. Every time you will watch the video, you will get something new. Whenever you choose a topic, just get a complete mastery over on that topic, right? So here I am solving a problem based on time and work. 12 men can complete a piece of work in 4 days. Just listen to me very carefully. I won't be touching paper and pen, and you should be able to understand this explanation in just one go, right? 12 men can complete the piece of work in 4 days, while 15 women can complete the same work in 4 days. 6 men start working the same job, and after working for 2 days, all of them stopped working. How many women should be put on the job to complete the remaining work if it is to be completed in 3 days? Now listen to me carefully. 12 men can complete the work in 4 days. That means the work is of 48 man days. Now what is happening over here? 6 men are starting and they are working only for 2 days. That means 6 into 2, 12 man days work is completed, right? The work was of 48 man days. 12 man days work is completed. That means 1/4 of the work is already completed, right? Till they are leaving the job. After that, the 3/4 of the work to be done, right? Now the capacity of the woman, that is 15 women can complete the same work in 4 days. That means the work is of 15 into 4, 60 woman days. The entire work is of 60 women days. but 1/4 of the work has already been done by men. So 3/4 of the work, it has to be done by women. Now woman can do the entire work. That means the work is of 60 woman days, the entire work, but the 3/4 of the work will be of 45 woman days. Getting my point? Now, what is the question? Now we are left with the 45 woman days work. How many women should be put on the job to complete the remaining work if it is to be completed in 3 days? Now we have the work left of 45 woman days. The work has to be completed in 3 days. That means 15 women should be there. As simple as that. No paperwork, no formula, nothing is required. And you will also observe, you might have observed that I haven't done any deep or like a very lengthy calculation. It's a very simple problem, can be solved in just 20 to 30 seconds if you are conceptually clear, right? So if you are not clear for the first time, watch this video again and again till you get the mastery over the topic, right? One more problem based on time and work. And again, I'm not going to make use of paper and pen, right? And the same thing I would suggest you, if you can do the problem without touching your paper and pen, then only you should assume that your preparation is complete. Else you need to master the topic once again. Just revise the basics, right? Now 24 men can complete a work in 16 days. 32 men can complete the same work in 24 days. 16 men and 16 women started, and this story. Now see, we start from the first sentence. 24 men can complete a work in 16 days. Now that means 24 into 16 men days is equal to 32 into 24 woman days. Getting my point? Just try to visualize that. 24 into 16 men days is equal to 32 into 24 woman days. Now 24 and 24 will be cancelled. That means 16 man days is equal to 32 woman days. That means 1 man day is equal to 2 woman days. So precisely the capacity, or we can say efficiency of a man is equal to 2 women. Getting my point? No need to go for paperwork, just try to visualize that. 1 man is equal to 2 women. Now here the next story, 16 men and 16 women started worked for 12 days. Now 16 men are 16 men and 16 women are equivalent to 8 men, right? As 1 man is equal to 2 women. So 16 women are 8 men, 16 men plus 8 men, 24 men started the work. And we are already given that 24 men can complete the work in 16 days. Now here what is happening? 24 men are starting the work and they are working for 12 days. Now in 16 days they can work, they can complete the work. So that means in 12 days they might have done 12 by 16, or we can say 3/4 of the work, or 75% of the work. Now after this 12 days, 1/4 of the work is left. And the work has to be completed in 2 days. Now 24 men, entire work can complete, they can complete in 16 days. That means for doing 1/4 work they need 4 days. But the work has to be completed in 2 days. That means the number of persons should be double, right? So now if it is 24 men, 24 more men to be added. So in all 48 persons should be there, or 24 more men to be added. I repeat the last point. 1/4 of the work is left. 24 men can do 1/4 of the work in 4 days, because they can complete the entire work in 16 days. That means 1/4 of the work they can do in 4 days, but the work has to be completed in 2 days only. That means the number of persons should be doubled, because the days are halved, right? So number of persons to be doubled. 24 men we are already having. That means more 24 persons should be added to complete the task in 2 days. Okay, so without touching paper and pen we can solve this problem. You need to be conceptually clear. Each and in every session I am repeating the same statement, that you need to be conceptually clear. Okay, friends, competition is going to be very tough. For 2-3,000 seats, lakhs of students are appearing. And if time is given, everybody can solve the problem, right? It's not like that I'm doing some exceptional work. Everybody can solve the problem. But the thing is, in limited time or with time restriction, who can solve the problem? And the person will be winner. So you need to work on strategy. You need to work on concepts. I'm sure you are clear. Now, a problem based on ratio and proportion I'm having over here. A bag contains these many coins in this ratio. The amount is 206. We have to find out the number of coins of each type. A very simple problem, friends. Just coin ratio is 5, 9, 4, and their value ratio is 50, 25, and 10. That means what you do, 5 into 50, 9 into 25, and 4 into 10. So this is the coin ratio and this is their value ratio, because weightage of 50 paisa coin is more than 25 paisa and 10 paisa, right? So we multiplied their coin ratio to the respective value ratio, right? Now just simplify that. 5, 5, and 2. So it's 50 into 9 fives are 40, I'm sorry, 50, 45, and 8. So the total is 103. The value is 103 and we are given the value as 206. That means each is getting double, 100, 90, and 60. Okay. That means value of 50 paisa coin is 100 rupees. That means there should be 200 coins. Value of 25 paisa coins is 90 rupees. That means there must be 360 coins, and value of 10 paisa coin is 16 rupees. That means there should be 160 coins. As simple as that, right? Hello friends, here I am having a problem from paper IBPS paper 2012, query sent by a student. An article was purchased for rupees 78,350. Its price was marked up by 30%. It was sold at a discount of 20% on the marked up price. What was the profit percent on the cost price? Now friends, it's a very simple problem. No need to go for any sort of paperwork. Finally, you are asked about the percentage profit on the cost price, right? That means the entire game is of percentage. So here you don't have to use this data, that is 78,350 rupees, right? You can assume the cost price to be 100, right? Now the cost price is 100 and that means markup price is 130 rupees. Discount is 20%, that means 20% of 130, that is 26 rupees. That means finally it is 104 rupees. Now cost price is 100. Selling price is 104. That means the profit is 4%, right? So without even paperwork, you can solve this problem. Now most of the student, the mistake they will make is first of all they will use this data 78350. They will be calculating its 130%, then they will be calculating its 80%, then finally they will be getting the answer, right? So that problem, because the data is like an absurd data, 78350 as an absurd data, so that calculation will be really time consuming. So if your final answer isn't asked in percentage terms only, you can eliminate this data, right? This will be as good as 100. I hope you are getting me. The problem is from IBPS paper 2012. Now let's see this problem. Rita's present age is 4 times her daughter's present age and 2/3 of her mother's present age. The total of the present ages of all of them is 154 years. What is the difference between Rita's and her mother's present age? A very simple problem, friends. What I assume is the daughter age, I assume it to be 1. Then Rita must be 4, because Rita's present age is 4 times her daughter's present age. Now Rita's age is 2/3 of her mother's present age. That means Rita's mother is 6, right? So we got the ratio between mother, Rita, and daughter, right? In all, it is 6 plus 4, 10 plus 1, 11. Now this 11 is actually 154. So 11 is equivalent to 154. Now we have to find out the difference between Rita and her mother. So the difference between them is 2 part, 6 and 4. So 11 part is 154. That means 1 part is 154 divided by 11. It's very simple. Sum of this 2 is put in between. That means 154 is clearly a multiple of 11, and 154 divided by 11 will be, just eliminate 5, it will be 14, right? So 1 part is 14 and the difference between their ages is 2 part. So 2 part is 28 years. No much paperwork is required. Okay. Now this problem based on geometry. The ratio between three angles of quadrilateral is this. The value of fourth angle of the quadrilateral is 71 degree. What is the difference between the largest and the smallest angle of the quadrilateral? Now you must be knowing that all sum of all the four angles of the quadrilateral is 360 degree. Right? Out of that, the fourth angle is 71 degree. That means sum of these three must be 360 minus 71. So that's 289. Right? That means sum of these three must be 289. Right? Now this is what? 9 plus 5, 14 and 3, 17 part. Now 17 part is 289. That means one part is 17. Okay? Because 17 square is 289. Now here we have to find out the difference between the largest and the smallest angle. Now this must be the largest, right? And this must be the smallest, because 17 into 3 is 51 and 17 into 9, that will be bigger than this. No need to calculate. So we have to find out the difference between these two. Now between 3 and 9 the difference is 6 part, right? If one part is 17, 6 part will be 102. As simple as that. Okay, I hope you are clear. You must be knowing that sum of all the four angles of a quadrilateral is 360 degree. Right? After that, the problem can be simply solved. Now in this question, the ratio between the speeds of a truck, car and train is 3:8:12. The car moved uniformly and covered a distance of 1040 kilometers in 13 hours. What is the average speed of truck and train together? Very simple problem, friends. Once again, speed of the car is 1040 by 13. That is 80 kilometer per hour. Right? That means this 8 is actually 80. That means this 12 must be 120 and this must be 30. Right? So we got the speed of truck, car and train. Now we are asked about the average speed of truck and train together. So truck is 30, train is 120. So 120 plus 30, 150, and their average will be 75. Okay, very simple problem. No much paperwork is required. I hope you are clear. Now, a question based on geometry. The second largest and the smallest angle of a triangle are in ratio of 6:5. The difference between the second largest angle and the smallest angle of triangle is equal to 9 degree, right? What is the difference between smallest and the largest angle of the triangle? A very simple problem once again. Listen to me carefully. Sum of the three angles of a triangle is 180 degree. That you must be knowing, right? Now, here second largest and smallest, the ratio is given 6:5, and here second largest and smallest, the difference is given as 9 degree. That means this difference, that is one part, is equal to 9 degree. Getting my point? One part is 9 degree. So one part is 9 degree. That means 6 part will be 54 degree. 5 part will be 45 degree. So this is what? 4 plus 5, 9. 5 plus 4, 9. So this is all 99 degree. So the third angle will be 180 minus 99. So that's 81. Okay. So these are the three angles of the triangle. Now the difference between smallest and largest, that is 45 and 81. So what's that difference? 81 minus 45, that's 36 degree. As simple as that. Okay.